Welcome to Visual Book Summary. Today, we're delving into a revolutionary text that has fundamentally challenged the very foundations of justice, De delitti e delle pene by Cesare Beccaria. Written in the 18th century, this seminal work critiques the penal system of Beccaria's time and presents profound arguments against the death penalty, among other forms of punishment. Join me as we explore Beccaria's insights into crime and punishment, focusing on his staunch opposition to capital punishment and the principles of justice that still resonate today. Cesare Beccaria was an Italian philosopher and legal theorist whose work, De delitti e delle pene, published in 1764, serves as a cornerstone of modern criminal justice. Beccaria's philosophical journey begins with a fundamental critique of laws that were often designed to benefit a privileged few, rather than serve the greater good of society. He emphasizes that laws must be enacted with the common welfare in mind and should protect individuals from oppression rather than facilitate it. Beccaria discusses the historical context in which laws and punishments emerged. He argues that laws originated when individuals, weary of constant conflict and insecurity, agreed to form societies. In this social contract, people willingly relinquished certain freedoms to establish a system of order. However, Beccaria points out that those in power often manipulate these laws to serve their interests, perpetuating a cycle of oppression that ultimately undermines the very purpose of governance. Central to Beccaria's philosophy is the notion that the right to punish should exist solely out of necessity to safeguard society. He asserts that punishment must be just and proportional to the crime committed. The sovereign bears the responsibility of protecting the liberties of its citizens, and any punishment that exceeds this necessity is inherently unjust. Beccaria warns that if laws serve only the interests of a select few, the populace will inevitably rise against such tyranny. This principle is crucial in understanding Beccaria's vehement opposition to the death penalty. One of Beccaria's most radical assertions is his outright rejection of the death penalty. He questions the morality of a state that claims the right to take a life. How can a government, which derives its authority from the consent of the governed, justify killing a citizen? Beccaria argues that the death penalty is not only morally indefensible but also ineffective as a deterrent to crime. He emphasizes that the fear of death does not prevent individuals from committing crimes, rather, it is the certainty of punishment that has a more profound impact on human behavior. In his view, the death penalty fails to achieve its intended purpose. It does not serve as a lesson to society, but rather perpetuates a cycle of violence and vengeance. Beccaria argues that the execution of a criminal does not absolve the state of its responsibility to uphold justice. Instead, it reinforces the idea that violence is an acceptable means of resolving conflicts, undermining the moral fabric of society. Beccaria emphasizes the need for proportionality in punishment. He categorizes crimes into various levels of severity, asserting that the penalties must correspond appropriately to the nature of the offense. For instance, more severe crimes against the public good should incur harsher punishments than minor offenses against private individuals. Beccaria warns that if all crimes are punished equally, individuals may be emboldened to commit more serious offenses, believing the consequences will be the same as for lesser crimes. Moreover, he highlights that the severity of punishment should not be influenced by the social status of the victim or the intentions of the offender. This perspective emphasizes equality before the law, a principle that remains crucial in contemporary legal systems. Beccaria outlines several critical consequences stemming from his understanding of punishment. Punishments must be defined by legislators representing the entire society, ensuring that no magistrate can impose penalties beyond what the law prescribes. This principle guards against arbitrary decisions by those in power. Beccaria argues that the sovereign cannot serve as a judge in cases involving laws they have enacted, as this creates a conflict of interest. A neutral party, such as a magistrate, must assess the facts and render judgment. Punishment should not be cruel or inhumane, as they can degrade individuals and violate the social contract. Beccaria advocates for humane treatment, believing that excessive punishment breeds fear and submission rather than respect and loyalty. Beccaria emphasizes the importance of reliable evidence and credible witnesses in legal proceedings. He argues that a justice system grounded in facts, rather than hearsay or secret accusations, is essential for fair trials. He warns against the dangers of secret accusations, which can lead to unjust convictions and a breakdown of trust in the legal system. Education plays a critical role in preventing crime, according to Beccaria. He argues that an enlightened populace is less likely to commit offenses. By fostering a society that values knowledge and ethical behavior, individuals will be more inclined to adhere to the law. Beccaria firmly opposes the use of torture, arguing that it often leads to false confessions and does not guarantee the truth. He contends that inflicting pain on individuals cannot yield reliable information and is contrary to the principles of justice and human dignity. Torture, he asserts, corrupts the very fabric of society and should be abolished. Beccaria calls for public trials, asserting that transparency is essential to uphold justice. He believes that the public nature of legal proceedings promotes accountability among judges and deters corruption. In a fair trial, individuals should have the opportunity to defend themselves against accusations openly. In conclusion, Beccaria's vehement opposition to the death penalty is grounded in both moral and practical arguments. He argues that executing a criminal does not solve the underlying issues of crime, rather, it perpetuates a cycle of violence that dehumanizes both the executed and society at large. He challenges us to consider the implications of a state that takes a life, questioning the moral integrity of such an action. Beccaria's insights remain strikingly relevant in contemporary discussions about justice and punishment. As we navigate the complexities of modern legal systems, it is crucial to remember his call for proportionality, humane treatment, and the inherent value of human life. Beccaria's insights remain strikingly relevant in contemporary discussions about justice and punishment. As we navigate the complexities of modern legal systems, it is crucial to remember his call for proportionality, humane treatment, and the inherent value of human life. In fact, Beccaria's ideas resonate even more today, as we see global movements advocating for the abolition of the death penalty and the reform of prison systems. His argument that the certainty of punishment is a far more effective deterrent than its severity continues to influence criminal justice reformers. The growing emphasis on rehabilitation, rather than retribution, can be traced back to Beccaria's belief that punishment should aim to reintegrate offenders into society, rather than destroy them. Moreover, in an era where wrongful convictions are brought to light by advances in forensic science, Beccaria's stance against irreversible punishments like the death penalty is increasingly validated. The risk of executing an innocent person, a possibility that Beccaria foresaw, is a powerful reminder of the need for caution and moral integrity in the administration of justice. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening exploration of Cesare Beccaria's De delitti e delle pene. His critique of capital punishment challenges us to reconsider our approaches to justice and the value we place on human life. If you found this summary thought-provoking, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep exploring the world of literature with Visual Book Summary.